Hey guys, my name is Warbands, and today I'm bringing a video about the Wilderness Warbands distraction and diversion. So, why should you be doing this? Well, let me tell you. This guide will include everything you need to do this, and I'm going to even give you tips and tricks how to gain maximum experience from doing this. So, let us get started. So, the Wilderness Warbands is a daily distraction and diversion. It happens every 7th hour, so there is usually 3 camps every day. It is located inside wilderness, so there is a small risk of dying, but it's really minimal, so you should not be that scared. And the gear you will be taking there is not really that valuable, so it doesn't matter if you die. You will not lose much XP from it or money. And by doing this, you can gain free XP for farming, construction, herb lore, mining, or smithing. So it is really nice. There is 5 buyable skills, which include the construction, herb lore, smithing, and the farming. And also there is the mining, which is really slow skill. So it is nice to train it with this way. You can gain up to 300k experience from every day by doing Wilderness Warbands. You can gain up to 100k from a single warband camp, and you can do these 3 every day. So let us move on. Skill requirements. The distraction itself requires absolutely no skills, but most FCs you're going to join for this require some specific skills, like 60 defense, 70 attack, magic or range, 58 woodcutting. Next, I have the gear requirements. As always, different FCs have different gear requirements, but I have listed here the most common ones. Range is the best method to do warbands. So, for the range you will need 60 plus armor, 70 plus weapon, and I have suggested here to use Royal D-Hide and a hand cannon, because they are the most cheapest and most useful ones to do a warbands. And next is the magic method. For it you will need 60 plus armor and 70 plus weapon. This is a bit expensive as you need to use Griffolic and Polypore staff, and in wilderness you can only protect one item. So you will lose your Griffolic armor usually, and it's pretty expensive. Next is the melee armor. For this you will need 55 plus armor, 75 plus weapon, and the suggested setup is granite plus a god sword. Here I have listed some other requirements. The Summersend quest is pretty much needed for warbands because it will allow you to access the corporal beast lair. It will really help you to get to some other camps in the warbands. 58 woodcutting to able to make the Waka canoe, because the Waka is needed to access wilderness spawned Waka location, so you really need it. Any beast of burden will be extremely helpful, because you will need to take some food into the wilderness, and also you will need to bring back the 25 supplies from the camp, so you will need to store the food somewhere, so beast of burden will be extremely helpful there. Here I have listed some rules. It is extremely important that you follow these, because if you don't, you will be risked to be kicked from the chat and also banned from the chat, so that is not good. So follow these rules and you should be just fine. So before the wave, turn your online status off during the wave, because most likely the host is going to ask for you to turn your PM off. That means you will need to click the diamond type of icon in your chat box and turn it off, so no one can see you, no one can quick hop on you, so no crashers will come and kill you. And also you will need to show up in the gear check. I will tell you about the gear check in later, but basically what you need to do is go to the place where the gear check is happening, and you will need to show your gear to the host, and he will add you after that, and you can do the bands with that FriendChat. It is pretty easy and I will explain it later. And as always, do what the host is saying. If he says something, just do it. Don't argue with him, because it will just get you kicked and banned. So please just do what he says. Also, a very common rule is to stay away from Edge, Quercus and Northwest Granite Change. This is because other FriendChat can see you and they can just track you and basically quick hop you and crash your FriendChat and kill everyone, and no one wants that. So just stay away from these places, otherwise you will be kicked from the chat. These rules are usually told by the host before the wave begins, but I'm going to explain what they mean right here. Kill all the white dots. This means kill all the non-members of your FC. So just kill all the white you see on the map, and if you don't, you will be risked to be kicked from the chat, and that is not what you want. No backstabbing. This means do not kill the members of your FC. It is really simple. No leeching. This means that if you don't attack the monsters inside the camp, it is considered as leeching, and you will be kicked from the chat if you do it. Fall in when you are called to do so. This means follow the person who says fall in. It is usually shortened by FE, so do that. Follow the person who calls that, so you should be fine if you do that. Wand is safe. This means that you will be not attacked if you get the wand from the camp. I will explain what the wand is later in the video. Some FCs do not have this rule, so you must take this consideration, because if you get the wand and the FC does not protect you, you will be most likely killed. So that is kinda bad. Most FCs do have wand safe, so you should be fine. I also decided to give you a little Warband dictionary in this video. I'm going to basically tell you what these terms mean, so let's get started. FI means fall in. That means that you need to follow the person who calls it. Scout means the person from the FC who goes to different worlds to scout for the enemy FCs. If this is your first time doing Warbands, do not volunteer to be a scout. The host usually asks for scouts, but if this is your first time, just ignore it. Gauge C is gear check. It means that you will need to go to the gear check, and I already explained it in this video. Taxi means after a successful looting, taxi may be called, which means you will need to follow the person who is taxiing, and he will take you back to Quercus to give the supplies back. I will explain this later in the video. Also, there is the anti, which means after the wave there is sometimes anti-event, which means an anti-PK event. So you will be just going to kill some people with your FC, and yeah, it is usually mandatory. So if you leave before the anti, you will be banned from the chat. So after the wave is over, do not leave the chat unless the host is saying that you can leave. But yeah, that is pretty much everything. These are the most important terms in Warbands. These are the locations of the camp and their shortened names, which are really important because they will be called in the chat and you will need to know where to go. So the DWF is Dog Warriors Fortress, the ELM is East of Lava Maze, the RDI is Red Dragon Isle, and all of these places are possible locations of a Warband camp, so just remember these locations and you will be fine. Finding a FriendChat can be a bit hard, but it's actually really easy if you know where to go. The Warband tracker site is extremely good site. Just Google Warband tracker and you will get to their site. They will announce friend chats 1 hour before the wave is about to begin. They have also a friend chat dedicated for finding Warband friend chats. Also, you can ask for your clan if they do warbands or if your clan mates know any good warband chats. But I still recommend the Warband tracker site. It is extremely awesome and that is how I got into warbands. Now that you know the basics of warbands, I'm actually going to show you how to do this. So the objective is to loot a warband camp in the world. You can loot up to 75 supplies every day, and usually FCs do 3 to 4 worlds every day. So each world has one camp and you can loot up to 25 supplies from the camp. Always follow the rules and listen to the host. You can easily be kicked or banned if you do not follow these rules, as I said earlier. Earlier I talked about the locations of the camp. Now I'm going to actually show you how to get to these places. So the first one is east of Lava Maze. This is easily accessed by making a Waka canoe in Edgeville and using it to travel to the Wildy Pond. In the map here you can see where the pond is located and also where the camp is located. So you just need to run north from the pond and you will get to the camp. Next I have the Red Dragon Isle. This can be accessed by using the game necklace to travel to Corp Cape. If you don't have the game necklace Corp Cape teleport, you can also use the Waka canoe to Wilderness Pond and run east from the pond and access the camp. In the map here you can see the Corp Cape and the camp. So from the Corp Cape you just run east and you will see the camp. The last location is the Dark Warriors Fortress, and this can be accessed by running north from the Edgeville Lode. In the map you can see the Edgeville Lode and the camp. It is really easy to get to and it is probably the best place to be. Only minus in the place is that most skillers do this place and you will get usually less supplies unless there is someone low level in your FC who can kill the killers, but usually it is the best camp location, so you should be happy if you get it. Here I have some clips from the warbands. These are really old clips. I have recorded this like half a year ago. I was supposed to make a video back then, but it was a bit delayed. So, to actually play this game, you first need to find a friend chat. After you have found a friend chat, just follow the orders and you will be 10 minutes before the warband starts. You usually go to Edgeville, to Corcus. There you will be told to make a Waka canoe, so just make it. And you will be just waiting for the wave to begin. The footage in the background is actually not from looting the camp, but it's from anti-PKing session. As you can see, there's a lot of people, but I'm going to tell you about the looting the camps. I'm afraid that I don't have any footage because I want to do this video today and I actually deleted my looting video because it was not that good, and I'm not sure when I will be doing other warband. So when you have known the warband place, it will be told in the chat where to go. You will be using one of the 3 ways I told you about in this video. And after that, when you arrive at the camp, if the host has told you to break the beam, you just attack the monsters in the camp. Leave the boss the last, because if you don't kill the minions first, the boss will take 55 more or less damage. So kill the minions first. If you are told to protect the beam, you will need to click the beam, which is in the center of the camp. If you really don't know what to do, just stay back if you're told to protect the beam. But if you're told to just destroy the beam, just kill the monsters, it's really easy. If there is any whites, kill them, because your FriendChat is probably going to tell you to do it. After the whites are killed and the minions are killed, you can start looting the camp. There is three active camps from the 5 in the Warband camp. You can only loot from, well, you can loot from all of them, but you can only loot 25 supplies. So it is usually recommended to loot from only one tent. So after you have looted 25 supplies, you're going to need to head back to Quercus. If you are told to taxi, it means that you need to follow the person who calls it, and he will lead you back to Quercus. This is usually done only in east of Lava Maze and Red Dragon Isle. If it's Dark Warrior's Fortress, you are not told to be taxied. Just run back to Edgeville and talk to Quercus and hand in the supplies. You will get some awesome experience. But during the looting, you can actually get something called the Wand of Treachery. This is a very worthless wand. It only costs 200k, and it makes everyone able to attack you. So that is really bad. Also, your prayer will be drained to 0. But if your FC has a rule that wand is safe, you should be just fine. But there might be some not FC members who might attack you. So it is not usually that good that if you get the wand, because it's just worthless. The supplies are usually better. But if you get it, just be ready to drink a prayer pot and just be ready to protect yourself. So after you have looted camp, you will get awesome experience, as I said earlier, and that is pretty much everything. You will be also, if this is only your first world, you will be told to quick hop to the second world, and you will just need to loot the second camp there, and then you will be told to quick hop into the third world and just loot the camp there. So after you have looted all 3 camps, you can, or the host can say that there will be an anti-PK session, like in this video I'm doing an anti. Just attend it and listen to the commands which the host says, and you should be just fine. So that is pretty much everything you need to know about Warbands. This was pretty long video, and I hope you have enjoyed it. So thank you for watching. And if you have enjoyed, please leave a like and also subscribe, because this really took me a long time to make and I really appreciate any help. So, my name is Runescape and I bid you farewell.